Hey, what's going on, everybody? Justin here at Trumpful Reads, and in this video, we're going to go over my goals for the reading year of 2019. I posted my 2018 goal review video, and I kind of hit all the challenges, and I kind of thought about it a little bit more. And what I think I'm going to do is have a little bit more vague, abstract challenges, I guess, if that makes sense, instead of like reading having only challenges to read like five or X number of books in different categories, things like that. I think just be better. I thought it'd be better just to have sort of these challenges I'm going to talk about coming up. First off, let's just start with number of books. I'm going to stick with 52 books, just because I know I can hit it, so there's going to be like zero pressure to try and like reach it, I guess. And that's kind of like a silly challenge, anyways. But I just put one book a week, just for the sake of it. The only one that I want to continue on, sort of, from my challenges of last year is I had read 5 ancient history books last year, and I only hit like 7. I'm not going to put a direct number on it per se, but I'm going to read more ancient history books. I definitely like to push myself to try and do that. And ancient history I define as anything before classical Greece, basically. So pretty much anything Persian Empire, the Achaemenid Persian Empire and before, so including, pretty much all the Mesopotamian civilizations, Minoans and Mycenaeans, things like that. Anything like kind of in that realm, basically, I'll count as ancient history. And a bunch of the ones I read this year were on the Hittites, which I do enjoy. So I just kind of want to branch out a little bit more and read more ancient history books. But like I said, I'm not going to put a direct number, but, kind of subconsciously try to hit maybe like 10 or something. But like I said, I won't be disappointed, if I only read like, well, actually, I probably would be disappointed if I only read like 5. But anyways, so kind of just read more ancient history. The next one, okay, read at least 5 history books on history topics or eras that I don't normally read about. Essentially, this is going to either be reading 5 modern history books or the modern period, like from the Renaissance to any time between the Renaissance and now, excluding World War I, because I read a lot of World War I books. And I think last year I might have read like 2 that I even counted as this, like one like Napoleonic book, and I think like one other something or other. But generally, once I hit like the Renaissance, I get like disinterested in the topic, subject material. But I kind of want to push myself to find books from the either talking about the 1500s, 16, 17, 1800, 1900s that interest me. Just find some more topics that are kind of more recent-ish, modern-ish. Big emphasis on that ish right there, I guess you could say, for some people. But anyways, I would like to find some more eras or subject material that's more in the modern era that I'd like to start reading about and have like a focus on. So that's another challenge. Okay, now for fantasy, I read quite a bit of fantasy last year. I think I said 40-ish books, something like that. So I don't care if I read like 30 or 35, 40, 45, anything like that. But my goal now is to finish at least 10 series in 2019, which actually might be fairly difficult, because what happened was last year I basically read the first book in 20 different series, and I think I only finished like 1. So that actually might be a little more difficult, so either finish the series or finish up to whatever the latest book is, or whatever that happens to be. But I have a bunch of sequels already up here that I need to read. But yeah, I'd like to finish up some series so I can start some new ones. Yeah, that's definitely what my fantasy goal for 2019 is going to be. And you guys are going to have to keep reminding me, because what's going to happen is there's going to be a fantasy readathon, and I'm going to do like 5 or 6 new series that, basically have no chance at finishing. But anyways, that's my fantasy book challenge for the year. Okay, another kind of different kind of challenge is to get caught up on NetGalley. Basically, when I found NetGalley in October, and I got my Kindle like a week later, in the first week of November for my birthday, I ended up requesting just like tons of books, and after like the first couple weeks, I ended up with like 18 books or 19 books, something like that, and I'm still like 6 or 7 behind reading those. So what I want to do is get caught up on those before I even start requesting more, and then as I request them, if I get them, I want to try and like knock those off first, basically, because I feel kind of awkward like getting the free NetGalley ebooks or Kindle books or whatever, and then just like kind of keep falling behind on the reviews for those. So that's kind of another kind of weird-ish goal, I guess. But just more helping me stay on top of things with NetGalley. That's a challenge I'd like to push myself to do. Let's see. Some more kind of abstract ones. Read more philosophy books. I think I only read like 4 or 5 philosophy books in 2018. And I studied philosophy in college, and I really enjoy it. And I even have like almost 2 shelves there of philosophy. I don't know. I just like somehow neglected it for the most part of 2019. Not quite sure why. I just never really got around to it. But I like to read a lot more philosophy, both the primary source material and secondary source, like kind of, you know, books or commentaries on the primary sources or the topic or subject or whatever. So definitely want to try and do that. And also, memoirs were a subgenre or of nonfiction that I started last year, and I think I read like 4 or 5. And I'd like to keep trying and exploring memoirs as basically a subgenre for me to keep reading in and find like kind of new like niche topics to read about in memoir format. I really enjoyed the ones I did read. It actually, my first book of 2019, A River in Darkness, was a memoir. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's just a horribly tragic, sad story, true story, but it was really good. But anyways, really enjoy the memoirs so far. I just want to keep kind of exploring that kind of genre of writing, basically. And lastly, not quite sure how this is going to go, but like I said, last year I discovered like memoirs to an extent, but especially the life sciences and nature writing. I really enjoyed that, and I think I ended up reading like 20-ish books kind of in on those topics. You know, before that I maybe read a couple like over the course of like years and years. So I ended up really enjoying that style of writing and that kind of material that's covered. So with this challenge, it's not to read more life science books, but to try and read, at least attempt 2 more different either subject material for nonfiction or 2 more subgenres of nonfiction that I would like to read, or like enjoy, I guess, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm not really sure exactly how this is gonna go, but basically just gonna just push myself to explore basically new subgenres, new topics, new material, basically. And I guess even if I don't end up enjoying what I do read, I just want to at least attempt it, just to give different things a shot. So if you guys have any suggestions of other subgenres of nonfiction, especially that you haven't seen me read yet, definitely give me some recommendations, or what your thoughts are on particular, I guess, topics of nonfiction I could try to explore reading, or some of your favorites and things that I don't normally read. I'd really be glad to basically hear what your thoughts are and get some recommendations on that. And also leave some comments on what the most challenging or the most goal, or the goal you're most excited for the upcoming year of 2019. Leave a comment down below, or if you've done a 2019 kind of goals video as well, mention that below as well so I can go check it out. And always remember, whatever you guys end up reading 2019, read victoriously.